Now, Jaidyn Stephenson, the Collingwood player, suspended 10 weeks, 12 suspended weeks penalty for betting. But the Pies play tonight, but he can go around in the VFL tomorrow after really 9 weeks. Why?
Well, it's not 9 weeks. That's not right. He's missed 10 weeks of...
Explain it to me.
Okay, so the first thing I'd say is that there's always been a distinction between the tribunal, the MRO, and the Integrity Department.
Why?
Well, they're made by different divisions of the AFL. So the MRO is for on-field incidents and made by the Football Department, and the Integrity Department is for off-field incidents.
So if he was out for striking, he wouldn't be playing in the VFL, would he?
Under that system, no.
So why is he...
Just you asked the question. Let me finish. All right. I know you're rushing. So they've always had bespoke penalties, and some have been fines, some have been suspensions, and others. So as an example, and they've always been different, Neil. So they make the right decision for they think. So Jaidyn Stephenson was the largest penalty for a betting discretion by some way, a big penalty.
And because...
But because
I'm just struggling here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm struggling.
Well, you're struggling to let me finish.
All right, yeah.
So in the last two, it's been, I think the last two guys who've been suspended by the Integrity Department have been Broad and Pal Pepper. And both of those guys actually played VFL and Sandfield during their AFL suspensions. So
Jaidyn Stephenson could have played VFL, could he? For 10 weeks?
No, so what my point is they make the decisions, the different bespoke penalties at the time. So Broad was suspended from the AFL for 3 weeks but could play VFL as the example in his penalty. So this penalty was 22 matches, 12 suspended. So he was suspended for 10 AFL matches. It was clear that he couldn't play VFL during the period of his suspension.
Why was that clear?
Because it was put in the release in the penalty. So his accountability was 10 AFL matches, couldn't play during that period in the VFL. So his 10th match is tonight. And so the decision of the Integrity Department, the question is, when does then his suspension finish? It's after 10 AFL matches. And then he finishes that accountability and that suspension tonight.
Do you agree there's a certain illogicality to this? You're either in or you're out.
Well, he actually has served his 10 matches. I actually think it's really logical. I think the people who have the issue go, history says or whatever. I actually think that he has served his 10 matches. I actually think it's very logical. And that's certainly the opinion and the reasoning I was given by the integrity team.
Was there a deal with Collingwood before his suspension was introduced?
That it was 10 matches.
Yeah, well, it was 10 AFL matches and he could go around the VFL like this.
No deal. I certainly asked Andrew Dillon, and he said it was always contemplated in his mind that when the 10 matches were finished, he could play VFL after that. I mean, if they were in the finals next week, Neil, are you saying that he couldn't have played in the VFL finals for Collingwood if they're in the VFL finals next week?
No, I'm saying it looks inconsistent. I belt somebody, I'm out fair income for 10 weeks. I'm suspended told you're suspended for 10 weeks for punting, but it's really only from AFL games.
So why didn't you have an issue with Broad or Pal Pepper? Why didn't you bring that up?
I've got a prejudice against Collingwood.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Because,
come on.
But Neil,
are you serious?
No, I'm joking, being flippant about that.
Good.
But I'm saying that there's a precedent there. The suspension was clear. His accountability was to miss 10 AFL matches, and he couldn't play the field during that. And I think it's a fairly logical argument to say it finishes at the end of 10 weeks.
Mick McGuan, former Collingwood player, says it's a disgrace. John Ralph, who's not a former Collingwood player, says it fails any pub test.
Well, I think we've articulated pretty clearly. I mean,
will you change it, or are you going to stay with this system?
Which system? The
system that has the difference in the penalties. Are you going to have your so-called bespoke penalties continue?
Yeah, the system is working well. If I think this is pretty clear, and I think it's a very tough penalty.
And you think it's fair that he's playing tomorrow in the VFL?
I think he served his accountability of 10 matches, and Collingwood's paid the price, and Stephenson's paid that price.
Okay, so the system will continue this way, won't change?
Correct.
No intent to change it. Yeah. All right.